Hello everyone, Xanaro Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and I am very excited to do this video because the results for the first regional for the unionarena trading card game at GenCon has been posted on the exburst.dev page. Now, I was looking for this information. It was kind of hard to find. I assumed that, the official unionarena English version would have this posted all over their social media page, but this is a big blunder by them. I think not giving the community what they want, not posting these results, not posting any of this information, and we need to be on here commenting on these posts, saying, hey, please post this data. We want to know all of the stuff, especially on the official English version of the Twitter page, the X page, right? I think that's really, really important. I think that they could do a better job of updating us on these, but luckily enough, the community has been able to post the results on the exburst.dev site. Like I said, you can post any results of any tournament that you do on this site as well. This is a community site, and they do a good job running it here. But all you have to do is click on community, go to tournament results, and if you're ever curious about anything that's going on in the unionarena trading card game, this site is the one to go for you. But they do have the GenCon top 16 posted up. So what I'm going to do in this video is we are going to look at the breakdown of the pie chart that they have, and then I will go over some deck lists. The main thing to take about this tournament is that Roy Mustang is taking up about 50% of the meta of the topping deck list on here, right? So that may seem very, very surprising to a lot of people. But if you're in the know of the meta for unionarena, you know that recency bias is a big component in the unionarena trading card game. With so many sets coming out and so much product coming out, people do tend to play more of what the newest, strongest deck is from each set. So I do not think that we are in a tier 0 format with, Roy Mustang being the best deck in format. I do think that Roy Mustang is a very powerful deck, and you do need to watch out for it, but I do think recency bias had a lot going into this tournament for him. Now, I do believe that Roy Mustang will be in whenever I do my top deck meta breakdown. I believe he will be one of the 10 best decks. That is absolutely positive. And if you haven't seen it yet, go and check on the channel. I have done a deck profile, deck breakdown of Roy Mustang, and go into full detail exactly why he is so powerful and what you can do with this deck, right? So on here, breaking it down for anyone, let's see if we can zoom this in a little bit. That's probably a little too much, but there we go. Perfect. 7 of the top 16 was the Roy Mustang Blue Fullmetalalchemist. Coming into second place is Purple Bleach, which is awesome to see. And then following here on out, Onepunchman Yellow, Blue JJK, Green Bleach, Red Geass, and one Purple JJK deck all got tops. The one surprising thing to see on here is the codegeass Red. This is, of course, the Ashford Academy Rush deck, which can, like I said before, it is a really strong rogue deck. It can surprise your opponents in what it does in pushing the pace of the game. But if there was one list on here I did not see coming, thinking about being in the top 16, was this deck. But we do know that this deck can perform really, really well, right? It's just interesting to see it did so well at such a big tournament. A lot of people probably not doing matchups and playtesting against this deck, right? Which that is what is so fun about card games, right? If you really believe in a rogue tier meta-ish deck, then you can take it, go into your matchups. A lot of the other big popular decks are not going to be testing against you, so you can find different ways and outs. So that would definitely be a deck profile if it does have the list on here that we'll go and touch into, right? Just to go through it, Mustang got first, a Purple Bleach got second, and then following that, a third and fourth for Mustang, a fifth place for Bleach, sixth for a Mustang, and then in seventh place we have a mix-up from the top decks, and it is Todo. Boogie Woogie. Now, this has been a very popular deck of recent, and it is because it is such a fun deck. This is one of my favorite decks in the card game, and I'm glad that he is finally so strong, and everyone is seeing just how good this deck is. Now, I don't think that this deck is a powerhouse deck like some of the other decks, because it does require you to really hold on to your Todo raids to mess up your opponent's energy lines. And with that being said, messing with energy lines in the game is so strong and important and powerful that this deck can live, and I'm so happy that it's so strong. I've been playing it even before the updates came out for it in the recent set, and I had a lot of success with the deck, maybe 50-50 into meta matchups, but now I do think that if you play it well enough, you can, just absolutely go off in a lot of decks, and the pressure that the deck can provide is a lot, and it is a different playstyle that a lot of decks don't have. Followed up in 8th and 9th place are 2 more purple bleach decks. 10th place is blue fullmetalalchemist Mustang again. In 11th place we have a mix-up of you know, yellow Saitama. Now this is one of the most solid you know, Union Arena decks. I say it over and over again. If you want to get into Union Arena, I highly recommend you buying 2 of the starter decks for onepunchman and then getting a couple other SRs that you need and putting them together, and it is a very generic, very powerful, very solid deck that does a little bit of everything, and it really is one of the best decks that I think new people should get into playing because it is pretty simple to play, it is very powerful, and you can really compete. Coming into 12th place, it looks like it is a Sukuna Nanami Blue JJK list. 13th place, Will Murphy with a Roy Mustang. Zonix with a Roy Mustang. In 15th place, we do have the red code Geass, Ashford Academy Rush. And then bringing up 16th place, representing the Green Man crew. I love to see this. K-Dog John with the green Toshiro and... green bleach deck. Sorry, I'm blanking on the names here. But the green bleach deck, very, very powerful. But let's zoom this back out. I know you guys like when I go over the deck list profile, so that is going to be the breakdown, and we have plenty of time to look at these deck lists, right? So will we take 1 and 3rd place on the Roy Mustang decks just to see, you know, what the differences are in the decks. So let's see here. We would do them by cost to make it easy on us. So seeing here in these 2 lists, let's zoom it in a little bit for everybody on the channel. 4-3 split from the special and the final triggers. I know a lot of people, or 4-4 split on those even throughout, and then 2, sorry, of the military is in trouble. This is your draw power. That is very similar to what I said that you should put in the deck, so very happy to see that I was right here. 4-4 on the Roy and Riza, which is absolutely, I think, the right call as well. 2 of the Edward Elric. Let's touch up on the first place deck list and see what they did. 4-4-2 split, 4-4, 2 on the Edward, so we were spot on there on this deck profile for what are the better things. Now here is something that is a little bit different. The topping deck list is deciding to run 4 of the 4,000 plus BP Roy Mustang, whereas the 3rd place deck only running 2 of those, which is an interesting split because they're both running the 3-drop Rizas at a 4 of, but the person in 3rd probably was missing this in their final game. I don't know much about how the games went because, like I said, the main channel did not do anything to update us on what the tournament was happening, and their split is adding the Alex Lewis Armstrong instead of the Roy Mustang at a 4 of, just trying to get a little more cycle, but I do think that maybe Roy being at a 4 of, being able to have, you know, a 5,000 BP body on your turn is just so absolutely insanely strong, but maybe trying to add a little more consistency, and, you know, I do agree that more consistency is probably better throughout the tournament, but the high roll for this person here to have 4 of the 5k BP during your turn Roy Mustang does apply so much pressure to your opponent. Now going through there, we do see that the first place and the 3rd place list are both running 4 of the 3-drop Maze Hues. That is your color trigger. You do have to run that at a 4 of. Both of them choosing to run a 2-3 and 3-2 split. So of the 2 and 1-drop Rizas respectively, the first place list being able to, you know, run 3 of the Roy, and then the other list running just 2. Probably just a player preference on this one. I would probably agree more, I guess, with the 3rd place person on this one instead of the first place. This Roy not having a trigger, maybe I could see this being a lower count, but this person did get first place. But these lists are very similar. Ratios are just a personal preference on what you want to run. Both only running 2 of this Roy here, the 1 energy, 1 action point, nullify impact Roy. I do think this card is really, really important, but it is not essential for you to have to see to make sure that you know, perform well throughout a tournament. And then 4-4-3 split on first place and 4-4-3 split on 3rd place. So this is the biggest difference in these deck lists right here, and now we can kind of understand why they ran more of the 3-drop Riza as opposed to the Roy, because they are not running any of the 1-drop Riza in the 3rd place list. This really makes me I don't agree with this. I'll just say that. Obviously, they got 3rd place. The deck is very powerful. That is a big part of it. But they are choosing to not run any of the 0-drop Riza, instead choosing to run the Black Hayate, which does let you search out your Rizas. So essentially it is a Riza, and then it lets you place 1 card from your hand to your sideline, and it is an active trigger. But I do think that you would rather just have the 3-drop Rizas in the deck, So I would recommend that you don't play this at a 3. Well, no, it does. It's 4 here. So what am I talking about? What is the difference? Oh, they run Vato instead of this. So sorry about that first part of this. They run Vato instead of the Black Hayate. So both are running 4 and 4 of the Rizas. The first place list only running 3 of the Rizas. Sorry, so 4 Roy Mustang 0 drops. 4 Rizas in the third place list, but only 3 in the first place list. And the main difference is the first place list runs 4 of the Vato. Now this makes a lot more sense. Sorry about that. 4 of the Vato being a win play, draw 1, then trash 1 is free cycle in a deck, and it is super powerful. It is a draw trigger in life too, so you'll see your pieces a little bit more often. And then sorry, third place, he does run 4 of the Rizas, and it is also running 3 of the Black Hayate. So instead of trying to draw 1, trash 1, they want to look at the top cards and then place all the rest at the bottom, which is a little more specific in what you're trying to do, right? So they both have benefits, but I do agree with the, you know, just draw 1, trash 1, and then draw trigger in life, although active triggers are really powerful. So those are the list. The main differences being the 0 drop Black Hayate or the Vato as your low end, and then later on whether people decide to run 4 of the 4/1 5k during your turn Roy Mustang, or 4 of your 2 of the Alex Armstrong, I guess. But very similar list. I don't see much difference to make a ton outside of the 0 drops. It is a really powerful deck, and let's touch up on some other things, right? So we did touch up on the Full Metal list. No deck list info for the topping bleach decks. We do have one for the Todo deck, so of course you guys know I love Todo, and I will be looking at this deck list. It doesn't look like any other deck lists are up on here yet except the codegeass deck list, so we will look at that one as well. So trying to get this video under 20 minutes, so let's see what's up. 4 specials, 3 finals. Like I said, I see a lot of players only going down to 3 finals. 2 of the Goodwill event, which is I think is a good spot for this card. Like I said, you don't want to run 4 of this. It does clog your hands. And glad to see that the highest topping deck list for Todo is only running 2, because I do see a lot of people saying this card is essential to 4 of, but I don't agree with that. But it is all player preference, right? 4/4 on the raids, the 6 drop Ultimate Mekamaru and the 5 drop Todo. I can see this split being pretty good as long as you're running 4 of your 0 drop Kokichi, which they are absolutely doing, which makes this even more consistent because you have more and more raid targets, right? They run 4 of the 0 drop Kokichi, 4 of the 2 drop double energy generator if it's active Ultimate Mekamaru, and also 4 of the Kokichi color triggers. So they're definitely running a lot more raid targets for the Ultimate Mekamaru in the deck. That is 6 or 12 different raid targets that the Ultimate Mekamaru can go on top of, whereas the Todo only has 8, right? The 0 drop Todo and the 4 energy double action point, or 4 energy 1 action point double energy Todo on the list here. I have done a split of the Kokichi down to 3 and the Todo color trigger up to 1 because I do want to see more raid targets for my Todo, but I understand absolutely why they are choosing to run the Kokichi color trigger, because it is really strong. When played, if you have 5 or more Kyoto or a Miwa on your field, choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front and loses 1,000. Now he is maxing out on this for 4 of the 3 energy 1 action point Miwa, the double energy generator. This card is one of the most important cards in your deck because you're always going to play this on the back line. When played, draw 1, trash 1, which help you cycle your deck, and it is really good being able to do that. And then 2 of the 4 energy double action point. I would love if you are the, you know, creator of this deck. I'll go back to it and see what the name was on the profile. I would like to know why 2 of this card. I know it's a double energy action point, or double action point, and it is a Miwa, and it is a get trigger, and it can help you, you know, just in games. You can play this on the back line and choose not to, you know, when played, choose it 1 character in your opponent's front line. It loses 1,000 BP for each other KJJ high affinity card in the same line as this character till the end of the turn. The better players will play this on their back line, right? You don't want to be you don't want to have to block and them, because it says this character must block your opponent's attack and disable. So you want to play her on the back line, get that pop ability to, you know, lose 1,000 for each, and then move her up to be able to get the double attack. If you play her on your front line, a lot of the times you have to lose her that turn. So if you play her on the back line, you get the clear and then move her up on the next turn for that double attack. If you have the double attack play with her, you have the Todo out for the damage too, and the impact from the Ultimate Mekamaru, and you might clear something out. That could be potentially 5 different damage that your opponent is taking from just 3 bodies alone if they do not have answers for them, right? Very solid list, choosing to run 12 of the 0 drops. I do think that the Yoshinobu is such a strong card because it's a 2000 BP early body on the board. It is a active trigger in life as well. This card is very, very powerful, and it has the KJJ high in the typing, which makes it essential for you to be able to play out and search it. And then just 3 of the Utahime. I have also gone down to 2 to 3 copies of the Utahime because you really only want to see 1 throughout a game. If you see 2, sometimes it can be a little clunky. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal it to 1 KJJ high. Affinity card among them, add to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you add a card to your hand, place 1 from your hand into the sideline. Not choosing to run any of the card that lets you play 1. I do, I think, a 2-2 split of the Utahime and the girl on the broom that lets you play a character out. Really solid list. Love to see that they are doing so well. Big shout out to Div. Thank you for representing Todo and getting him into top 8, actually. So, very notable, not just top 16, but top 8. Alright, the last deck that we are going to go over here is going to be the red codegeass deck, sorry, Ashford Academy. And 4 of your Nunnelis, 4 of both of these Suzakus. You have to run all these cards out of 4 of. 4 of the Callan 3-drop, 4 of the cute Nurse Sayako, and then 4 of your Millie Ashfords that lets you gain 1,000 BP. Only 3 of the when attacking draw 1 sideline. It does not have a trigger. This deck is very low on triggers. One of the few decks in the game that is so powerful that has under 40 triggers, but you have to run them. And then running a straight 16 count of Arthur, Callan, and Suzaku 0 drops. And then also for good measure running 2 of the Swimsuit, C2, Win Play, Draw 1, Trash 1. Very powerful card as well, right? And then they are doing 4 of their special House of Horror triggers. Special trigger in life, and then 4 of the Ashford Academy. Now this card is very, very important, and multiples of these cards are very important, right? You get to play this active on your field, activate main, switch to resting. Choose 1 character on your field with 3,000 less PP in Ashford Academy. Affinity, play this turn and switch it to active. So really, really good. If you get multiples of these set up later, early in the game, they do generate you 1 energy. So you want to have 2 of them on your back line. Later turns, you just play out your small characters and then you get to switch them to active. So it's like you're getting in a raid character for only 1 cost. And it's really, really good. And then also just one of the school festivals. Look at top 4 cards of your deck, reveal 2 character cards of Ashford Academy on them, add it to your hand, place your many cards above your deck in any order. You do not have to add any cards back. This card is so powerful in this deck. One of is good at it because it is not a trigger in life, but this deck is so strong. It's not going anywhere. It is a very solid deck. I think it's always going to be a really competitive road tier deck. Like I said, I'm very surprised that this deck made it on here outside of like the Blue Sword or Online. That would be the deck that is very aggressive that would have, you know, thought that would have played it, but this deck is so low to the ground, it is so simple, and the consistency of this deck is still powerful enough there where if people don't understand what to do, they can be in trouble with going against this deck. It is really, really strong. I love this deck, and I love to see codegeass decks doing well. But that is the coverage on the event. I do think that this is a really healthy event for us to be able to see what people are playing. I do not foresee in the future that we have another tournament like this where, you know, Roy Mustang is 50%. I do think there are some notable card decks missing on here, Purple codegeass being one of them, Blue JJK not being so highly represented in the first place, and then like Blue, Bleach, and a couple other decks like, you know, a lot of things missing on here, but like recency bias is a thing in Union Arena. So don't let this scare you thinking that Roy Mustang is the end all be all for the card game, because like you can see here, it is very, very powerful, but the amount of people playing it was probably insanely high because Roy is a fan favorite character and the deck did just come out, so people wanted to play it because there is an advantage of playing a new deck, right? People don't know how to play against it yet, and if you do know that the deck is super powerful, then that gives you an advantage going into tournaments. So once this is out and more people play against it, there will be counterplay. But let me know what you guys
guys think about this video. Leave comments down below. Let me know what y'all are excited about seeing in the future of the meta for Unionarena trading card game. Don't forget to leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me today. Peace.